Hello, welcome to Lil's Vintage World. This video is a book review of the Voluble Topsy 1828 to 1947 by A.P. Herbert. This is the first time that Topsy has been put together in a collection like this, and it is published by the wonderful Handheld Press that I love very, very much. You can see some of the books that I have in their collection here. Now this is due to be published on the 11th of July, so I'll leave a link to the Handheld Press website where you can go and get your hands on this wonderful, wonderful book. So let's talk about it. When I got the press release for this book, I was like, oh, that sounds really good. It's described as, it even says on the bottom, the Bridget Jones of the 1920s, as if written by Nancy Mitford. Now, I love Bridget Jones. I have Bridget Jones, where are you? Here. Well, I have 3 Bridget Jones books. The Mad About the Boy book, I pretend does not exist. I don't like that one. If you've read Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy, you know what happens in it, therefore you know why I pretend it doesn't exist. So it's fine. I also do really love Nancy Mitford. Now, I don't think, where is my Nancy Mitford? Oh, you won't be able to see my Nancy Mitford. It's over there. I have this big old binder of Nancy Mitford. And yeah, I really enjoy reading her too. I think she's got a wonderful writing style that's quite complex. And yeah, I very much enjoy her books. I actually have a couple of hers as Folio Society as well, but they're down there and I can't reach them either. So, but just so you know, I have both Bridget Jones and Nancy Mitford. So I was very excited to get to this because it says Bridget Jones in the 1920s. You know me, I love anything vintage and 20s. I was all over it. So I was very excited to get to this. Now this is, as it is, says on the tin, the Voluble Topsy. So I will show you the inside. So it's Topsy in 3 parts essentially. So this is the first part, the Trials of Topsy. Then we have Topsy MP, and then we have Topsy Turvy. Each section is like 25, 26, essentially, almost like short stories. So these were originally published in Punch magazine, I believe, and so they're very short, sharp, to the point, very concise, and they're all quite similar in a way because we have Topsy writing to Trix, a friend, and Trix is getting these letters about anything and everything. Anything Topsy has an opinion on is going in the letter. Now, as I said, these pages are only a few pages long, you know, they're very short and sharp, kind of to the point, mini chapters, if you will, enough to put in a newspaper and for it to be funny and relevant and enjoyable. The 3 parts are kind of, the first part is when Topsy's kind of like this bright young thing, and then moving into when Topsy becomes an MP, and then finally when Topsy becomes a mother. My favourite of which is probably the first lot, although I thought the MP was very funny. And I would kind of say that, yes, I agree that it's Bridget Jones in the 1920s, as if written by Nancy Mitford, but with a political twist. There's kind of a bit of a political twist on quite a lot of what goes on in this book. And that is very simply done. And it's not done in a way that's too overplayed. It doesn't like make the book heavy in any way. This book actually kind of reminded me, as soon as I started reading it, reminded me of, reach for it, My Life and I by Betty Bendel. Now actually, the last Handheld Press book that I did review on my channel is My Life and I by Betty Bendel, and I think these two are quite similar in a way, even though they're decades apart. It's because this is a collection of essentially magazine columns. This is a collection of what was in newspapers. So they're both very kind of almost short stories in a way, very short, sharp, to the point, and there's no messing about with either of them. But that's kind of where the similarity ends. They're both very funny in their own way, but the humour's very different. This is very, very down to earth, you know, a housewife of the 1960s and 1970s worrying about, you know, her aunt getting too drunk and having to, what was it, this great aunt having some advocate and getting a little bit too tipsy and designing a bathroom and things like that. Whereas this one has much more of the life that I definitely don't lead. This has a lot more of a political edge to it. But I did actually really find myself enjoying it. I actually have to say I read them both in the same way. So when both of the books arrived, I started reading both of them as soon as they both arrived, which was in plenty of time in advance for the release of the book. However, because they're both, you know, almost short stories, if you will, I would read a couple here and then leave it a few days and then read a couple there. And it took me, you know, a good while to actually get through because of how I would read it in that way. I think I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much if I had read it in one wallop. And you've got to remember, for it being in a newspaper, it's not intended to be read in one wallop either. You know, it's meant to be, you know, you read one and it's short, sharp, concise, to the point. You have a little laugh, makes you think, and then you move on to the next thing. And I think that's the best way to read this book and get the most out of it. So if you're after a book that is funny, warm, charming, with a political twist, then I highly recommend the Voluble Topsy. And thank you very, very much to Handheld Press for very kindly sending me this copy for review. It's now going to go and sit on my bookshelves with the rest of my Handheld Press collection. So that is it for this little video. Let me know in the comment section if you have read the Voluble Topsy before, and if so, what you think of these collection. I would also love to know what book in general is your favourite handheld classic. So thank you so much for watching this video. Take care, and I shall see you soon for my next one. Bye for now.